So, Mr. Cornelius, on behalf of generations of TV dancers and people who love music, we from Chicago would love to present you with the Chicago Heritage Award in appreciation for your...
Think of a show that altered the way the world viewed music, fashion, and black culture. A stage where legendary performers such as Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and James Brown once dazzled audiences. However, a scandalous event took place, resulting in the permanent disappearance of this legendary program. This is not merely a tale about the conclusion of Soul Train. This is the story of a celebrity who started from scratch, ruled the television for more than 30 years, and then fell from grace because of an unexpected occurrence. Do you want to know what really happened in that fateful scene? Come with me as we explore the fascinating history, the golden age, and the reasons for the decline of Soul Train. In the early 1970s, Don Cornelius, an African-American journalist and MC, began to make a daring idea a reality in the city of Chicago. He is a passionate music lover and a careful observer of the inequalities in the entertainment industry. He noticed that African Americans were almost completely left out of television, particularly in major music programs. Cornelius had more than just an entertainment show in mind. He envisioned a stage where black music and culture could be celebrated and expressed freely and proudly, with a small team and limited finances. In August 1970, Cornelius started Soul Train, which was broadcast on a local station in Chicago. The show quickly attracted an audience due to its energetic atmosphere and music that was inspired by soul and R&B. Cornelius took on a variety of roles, including producing, hosting, and scouting performers, even though he was working with a small studio and limited resources. Every episode provided not just music, but also a sense of creativity and pride in one's culture. The performers' distinctive dance moves and enthusiastic performances quickly drew in a dedicated audience. In 1971, Cornelius made the decision to relocate Soul Train to Los Angeles. He believed that the show would have a greater chance of success there, as it would have access to a larger platform and a nationwide audience. Soul Train was able to thrive in the city of dreams, and from that point on, it went beyond being just a television show and became a cultural phenomenon. Soul Train was the platform that artists such as Stevie Wonder, Curtis Mayfield, and Gladys Knight selected to display their music. It was the location where audiences first saw new talents and musical trends that would shape the future. The Soul Train line was one of the most memorable parts of the show. In this segment, dancers would form two lines and take turns showing off their creative moves as they passed through. It was more than just a part of the show. It became a representation of artistic freedom and self-expression. In addition to music, the program was also a platform for fashion and hairstyles that were deeply rooted in African-American culture, helping to shape trends for young people during that time. Soul Train was more than just a source of entertainment. It had a significant social impact. The program represented the growth and validation of Black identity in America after the Civil Rights Movement. It shattered long-standing stereotypes and brought the image of the African-American community to television with dignity and pride. Cornelius was open about his vision for Soul Train, which was to create a platform where audiences could see themselves reflected in the music, culture, and lifestyle that the show celebrated. Soul Train became the first television show to be produced and hosted by African Americans when it went national in 1971. The show was more successful than anyone had anticipated, attracting millions of viewers each week and giving many Black artists the opportunity to become famous. Soul Train was an important platform for the careers of stars like Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, who both credited the show with helping them. Soul Train was a representation of Don Cornelius's dream and became a symbol of a time when music and culture brought millions of people together through every beat and dance step. It started as a small studio in Chicago and became a nationwide sensation. It was a journey that inspired many and that few people can forget. The golden era of Soul Train. The 1970s and 1980s were the height of Soul Train, a music program that not only entertained but also influenced American pop culture. Soul Train was more than just a stage for music during this time. It became a symbol of creativity, community connection, and affirmation of African American identity. Don Cornelius was the leader of the show, which changed the way music was shown on television. Soul Train was a groundbreaking program that combined music, dance, and lighting to create an inspiring atmosphere. In contrast, music programs of the past were often formulaic and lifeless. Artists not only performed, but also told stories through every melody and dance move. This was where stars like Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, and Aretha Franklin shone, bringing their music to millions of viewers across America. Soul Train was more than just a place place to find new talent. It was a springboard for artists to become internationally recognized figures. It was here that audiences first experienced Michael Jackson's unforgettable dance moves and Whitney Houston's captivating voice. These performances not only became milestones in the history of music, but they also highlighted the important role that Soul Train played in the development of contemporary music. On the other hand, Soul Train's appeal went beyond just the music. The show was also a one-of-a-kind fashion runway where dancers and artists were able to express their personalities in a free and creative way through their bold outfits. Everything from the bright clothing and big afro hairstyles to the sparkling high-heeled boots was a testament to the unique style of the time period. And of course, there was the unforgettable Soul Train cue, which was the moment when dancers lined up to show off their unique and expressive moves. This segment became a cherished cultural icon that was appreciated and imitated all over the world. In addition, Soul Train was an important factor in bringing communities together. The show featured a musical celebration in every episode that was enjoyable for everyone, including families and friends, to experience together. It became a common occurrence in African American households for people to come together to listen to well-known songs, check out the latest fashion trends, and enjoy the energetic environment. Soul Train's impact was not limited to the United States. The program quickly gained popularity around the world, inspiring other music shows and bringing African American culture closer to a global audience. Numerous international artists considered performing on the Soul Train stage to be an important milestone in their careers, which solidified the program's unique and essential role in the entertainment industry. Don Cornelius, the heart and soul of Soul Train, was the driving force behind all of this success. He not only brought a unique charm to the show with his elegant demeanor, deep voice, and captivating hosting style, but he also delivered a powerful message of love, peace, and unity. His well-known saying, "Love, peace, and soul," was more than just a catchphrase. It was a true representation of the program's spirit. The golden era of Soul Train was not only a time in television history, but also a cultural phenomenon that combined music, fashion, and community to create a lasting legacy. However, like all bright stars, this dazzling era eventually came to an end, making room for changes in the entertainment industry. That is the story we will continue to investigate as we look into the downfall and unfortunate conclusion of this legendary program. The program's accomplishment, Soul Train, was more than just a music television show. It was a cultural icon that brought together music, fashion, and community pride. The show was on the air for more than 30 years. The program was created during a time when black music was not given enough recognition. It became a one-of-a-kind platform to honor artists and musical genres that were frequently ignored. Legends such as Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, and Stevie Wonder found a larger platform where they could connect directly with their audiences. It was not only a chance for them to perform, but also a place for them to share their stories and confirm their position in the music industry. Soul Train was more than just a music show. It was a representation of style. The image of dancers performing in stylish clothing served as a major source of inspiration for fashion during the 1970s and 1980s. The program influenced the way an entire generation looked, from proud afro hairstyles to shimmering jumpsuits and disco-style vests. Fashion trends that appeared on Soul Train quickly spread, influencing not only African American communities, but also pop culture around the world. The program had an even greater impact by being the first to introduce new styles of music and dance moves. Soul Train quickly became a platform for showcasing up-and-coming stars like Run DMC, LL Cool J, and Public Enemy during the 1980s and 1990s, when hip-hop was becoming increasingly popular. At the same time, the dancers on the show helped to make dance moves like popping, blocking, and breakdancing more popular with their high-energy performances. Soul Train not only recorded changes in music, but it also became a major influence on new movements in street culture. The Soul Train Music Awards were established in 1987, further solidifying the program's legacy. This awards ceremony not only recognized the best R&B, soul, and hip-hop artists, but it also became a major event where the top artists came together. The performances at the awards, which included Whitney Houston and Prince, created unforgettable moments and reinforced Soul Train's significance in the music industry. However, the program's most significant accomplishment may have been its capacity to create a deep bond within the community. Soul Train was the first time that millions of African Americans saw themselves represented on screen, whether it was through music, fashion, or everyday lifestyles. This not only instilled a sense of pride, but it also laid the groundwork for future programs that celebrate the heritage of the Black community. Every episode of Soul Train Train felt like a musical celebration where families and young people could dance, sing along, and experience the power of connection through music. Soul Train was not just a television show, it was a cultural movement, a connection between generations, and a representation of a passion for music. It not only marked the end of an era, but it also created a legacy that will never be forgotten. A legacy in which the spirit of love, peace, and soul continues to live on in the hearts of its audience, even after the program has stopped airing, the fall that followed the golden age. However, nothing is permanent. Soul Train began to decline after its golden age, and a number of factors contributed to its downfall. As the show approached the end of its more than 30-year run, it slowly began to lose the brilliance that had made it a cultural icon. Both the music and television industries were changing rapidly, and these shifts created significant pressure, pushing the legendary program to the brink. By the end of the 1990s, the preferences of the audience had begun to shift. While R&B and soul, which had been the foundation of Soul Train, were becoming less popular, new genres like hip-hop and pop were gaining popularity. At the same time, reality talent shows such as American Idol and The Voice rapidly became the most popular shows on television. Not only did these shows bring a new dynamic, but they also helped to create a stronger bond between the audience and the artists. In this context, Soul Train, which had a traditional format and a familiar style, began to feel like it was no longer relevant. Things only became more difficult due to the rise in competition. Soul Train had almost no competition in its early years when it came to providing a platform for Black artists. However, by the 1990s, networks such as MTV, BET, and VH1 had established themselves as major players in the entertainment industry. MTV, which had previously been criticized for its lack of diversity, was now not only airing hip-hop music videos, but also producing new and exciting content that appealed to younger generations. At the same time, BET provided a more specialized platform, which caused Soul Train to be squeezed between strong competitors and slowly lose its audience. Don Cornelius's departure in 1993 was one of the most significant setbacks for Soul Train. Don, the founder and host of the show, brought both sophistication and the show's signature spirit through his iconic sign-off, love, peace, and soul. Soul Train lost its essence when he left his position as host. Shamar Moore and other successors attempted to bring new energy to the role, but they were unable to recreate Don's distinctive vision or natural charm. Longtime viewers started to think that the show had changed and was not the same as before. At the same time, the number of people watching Soul Train continued to go down. Younger audiences, who had previously been loyal to the program, were now using modern platforms to listen to music. In the early 2000s, the internet started to grow rapidly, and music sharing services such as Napster and LimeWire, as well as the launch of YouTube, changed the way that people accessed music. The young people no longer had to wait for a weekly television show to learn about new songs or see their favorite musicians. Financial difficulties also turned into an unavoidable obstacle. It took a lot of resources to produce a long-running show like Soul Train. However, as the number of viewers decreased, advertising revenue also decreased. During its last few years, the decline in production quality was obvious to the audience. The performances were no longer as captivating, the sets were not creative, and the lineup of artists did not impress as they had during the show's peak. All of these factors came together to create a perfect storm, putting Soul Train in a situation that could not be saved. A show that had previously been a cultural icon and a source of pride for the African-American community had become a mere shadow of what it once was. Soul Train, however, continued to have a dedicated audience that nostalgically remembered its heyday as a one-of-a-kind mix of music, dance, and lifestyle. However, the conclusion of Soul Train was not solely due to financial problems or changes in the preferences of its audience. The legendary show reached its breaking point when a shocking event occurred on live television, marking a moment of infamy that ultimately led to its demise. What events took place on the Soul Train stage in the show's last few years? Next, let's see what we can discover: the infamous scene that took Soul Train off the air. Soul Train was a cultural music icon for decades, but it all came to an end when a controversial moment delivered the final blow. It was an unexpected event, but it was so powerful that it was able to bring down a show that had been running for more than 35 years. The incident took place during the last few years when the show was attempting to re-establish itself in the midst of the quickly changing trends in music and television. Soul Train invited a number of young, well-known artists with bold performance styles in order to attract attention. The show hoped that this daring approach would help it keep up with new trends. However, one of those performances went too far for the audience to accept. A young artist surprised the audience during a live broadcast with their provocative choreography, inappropriate clothing, and lyrics that were deemed offensive. The incident caused an immediate uproar on social media, and the show was inundated with complaints from viewers, especially parents. That scene sparked a flood of harsh criticism because many people believed that Soul Train had strayed from its fundamental principles. The incident had repercussions that went beyond just public criticism. The show was thrown into a serious financial crisis when the major sponsors quickly pulled out. The television network was under pressure from the public to reevaluate whether the program was still in line with their image. Soul Train, which was once a representation of music and culture, was now surrounded by controversy and disappointment from its loyal audience. It was probably a devastating moment for Don Cornelius, who was the founder of the show and had been its supporter for a long time. He was no longer directly involved, but he was said to be very disappointed to see his brainchild go through negative changes that he never imagined would happen. The production team ultimately decided that it was time for the show to come to an end due to the increasing pressure they were facing from all sides. Soul Train said goodbye to its audience in 2006, marking the end of a significant chapter in the history of television. Soul Train's legacy is still intact, even after this well-known incident. It remains a representation of creativity, a passion for music, and a sense of community. However, the most important lesson to be learned from this incident is that it is essential to maintain one's identity, which is the very essence of Soul Train, in the face of any attempts to change it. The show made a lasting impression during its remarkable run, even though the conclusion was somewhat bittersweet. The lasting impact of Soul Train. Soul Train may have finished airing on television in 2006, but the show's spirit and influence continue to have a strong impact on people of all ages. Its legacy is not only connected to the lively music and energetic dance moves, but it also represents a significant change in the way that the world recognizes and celebrates Black culture. The Soul Train Music Awards are one of the ways that Soul Train continues to thrive. This awards ceremony not only continues to recognize artists in R&B, hip-hop, and soul, but also reaffirms the significant cultural impact that the show has had. The Soul Train Music Awards has become a bridge between generations, showcasing legendary performers like Mary J. Blige and rising talents like her. This demonstrates that the spirit of the program continues to thrive in modern music. Soul Train's legacy is also made up of its style and fashion, which are just as important as the music. The colorful and unique outfits that appear on the show have made a significant impact, not only in the fashion industry, but also in the broader cultural landscape. Soul Train is a source of inspiration for many contemporary designers who use it to recreate the show's boldness and creativity. They do this in a way that brings a new perspective while still maintaining the spirit of the iconic program. Soul Train's legacy goes even further, as it has become a symbol of creativity and freedom in the arts. The values that the program left behind are still being used and built upon by today's digital platforms, such as YouTube and TikTok. Every dance trend that goes viral on social media, or every music video with a street-style flair, is a reminder of Soul Train, a show that opened the door to limitless creativity. More importantly, Soul Train has created a devoted community of fans who have kept the spirit of love, peace, and soul alive through the years. Classic episodes that are shared widely on social media not only bring back memories for older viewers, but they also inspire younger viewers who did not experience the show's golden age. The program has become a living legacy rather than just a memory of the past due to events that recreate the iconic Soul Train line or fan reunions. Soul Train is still a symbol of pride, creativity, and community spirit. The show continues to be a source of inspiration for millions of people, serving as a symbol of dreams, passion, and unyielding creativity in the fields of art and culture. What do you remember about Soul Train? Please leave your comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on our next thrilling stories. I'll see you in the next video.